All right. So I want to know where you're all joining me from. Okay. I'm currently in Alberta, Canada. So type into the chat. Let's know where you are joining us from. You're joining from the UK, joining from Nigeria, joining from somewhere in the US. Type into the chat. Let's know where you are joining from. So Chinwe that is here for cybersecurity. Where are you joining from? Esther is from the UK. Okay, iPhone is also from the UK as well. Chinwe is in Saskatchewan. Fantastic. You're not too far from Alberta. Let me see. Dami is also joining from the UK. So let's get more people into the session as much as possible. All right. Now, let's get started. I'll be driving the session today and I'll lead the session using my slides. For you to get access to my slides and to all the materials that we will use today, ensure that you fill the attendance form. That's how you get access to my materials. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share and let's get started with the main meat of our session today. Need to be sure you can all see my screen. All right, brilliant. So today's topic, like I mentioned, is on future-proof tech career path that AI would not replace. And how can you master them? What approach can you take to ensure that you are able to easily move into these areas? And this is what our session today would center around extensively. But before we get started, who are we at Tenalytics? Tenalytics is a leading educational technology company, and the focus for us is to help Africans in the diaspora, Africans in Africa, to transition into the tech ecosystem. So people that look like me, to make that transition into the tech ecosystem. And over the last 4 years, we've been able to help over 2,500 people to make that transition in different areas in data analytics, data science, cybersecurity, financial analytics, and so on and so forth. And the way we do this is by providing you with a comprehensive training program that won't just focus on the technical part, but also on the employability part, having the right CV, having the right LinkedIn, having the right interview preparation, and so on and so forth. And I'll be leading the session today. I'm a technology expert with a decade experience in the data analytics ecosystem. Through Tenalytics, we've been able to help over 2,500 people across the globe, from the US to Canada to the UK, helping them make that switch, getting their very first jobs from the classroom to landing their jobs in tech. I've worked as a data science consultant, as a business analyst, as a data analyst, data analytics consultant in the US, the UK, currently in Canada. I've worked with FITC in Nigeria, owned by the Central Bank of Nigeria and the Bankers Committee. My experience spans across 5 major sectors: the sports, financial services, energy, educational technology, and automobile. And you also have the co-founder, Efemena. Efemena is a fantastic data-driven professional. He's worked across different areas as a data science contractor in the US, the UK, and Canada. Also led the data support team with the post office in the UK, and so many other fantastic experience across the space. Efemena has also worked in medical technology, health tech, logistics, and Efemena is also in Canada as well. Today's session would center around 4 key areas. The first is we need to know the jobs that are at risk. So if you're an accountant, for example, your job is at risk. If you're a customer service professional, your job is at risk. So which jobs are easily or would be easily replaced by AI? Then we need to know the career path that are future proof. That if we get into these career path, we can rest assured that the next 10 years we stay relevant into the future. And then I would introduce you to our upcoming program in December and the amazing discounts that I have for you. But remember, for you to get access to all the materials I'll be using today, my slides, the recording, ensure that you fill the attendance form that my colleagues would share in the chat. So you'd see the attendance from Lydia, from Shei. Fill the form so you get access to all the materials after today's session. So let's start by looking at the career path that are at risk. And this is not exhaustive, but these are the career paths that would easily be replaced. They are currently being replaced. And in the next coming years, the next 2, 3, 5 years, these career paths would start remaining redundant over the space. So if you're in customer service, you do data entry, you work in the warehouse or manufacturing company in assembly lines, you work in retail, maybe you work in Walmart or you work in Costco as a retail checkout operative, or you're an investment fund manager, or you're a HR professional, your job is at risk. And I would explain how. You're an accountant or an auditor, your job is also at risk. You're an insurance underwriter, you're a credit and loan officer, you are a software tester, you are a product manager, you're a bank teller, your jobs are at risk. And the reason is very simple. And this is because of the advent of AI and so many other technologies within the space. Let's take customer service as an example. Today, you have chatbots, you have virtual assistants that are powered by large language models, natural language processing that can handle customer inquiries 24/7. It doesn't get tired like the human being. They are there 24/7 and they can handle frequently asked questions and even resolve common issues with little to no human interaction. For anybody in the UK that uses Revolut, and you happen to be I think they have several plans, and the highest is the metal plan. I know I'm on the metal plan. So the metal plan, you have access to 24/7 support. But one of the things you'd find very quickly is most of the support you'd get are driven by chatbots, and they help you address the issue almost immediately. Or you need to get a new card. You go in there, you type it in, they ask you several questions, and then you have that properly resolved for you. Or they need to confirm certain things from you. It's always very seamless. And that's why the customer service representative roles would keep on declining over the next couple of years. Even Tenalytics has its own AI chatbot. Our AI chatbot is called Oluko. Okay, for those who are Yoruba, you know what Oluko means. Oluko means teacher. And I would show you what the chatbot does. Absolutely phenomenal. It helps you prepare for interviews. It helps you decode the errors you have, troubleshoot the errors you have when you've written a code and you've gotten an error. And I'll show you and walk you through how the chatbot works extensively. If you're an investment fund manager, for example, you can't possibly analyze the markets, predict the market trends, leveraging vast amounts of financial data like AI would do. So they can trade a lot faster than a human being. And this makes it a lot easier for any organization to adopt that within the investment space. If you're in HR, there are so many tools today. As a Tenalytics participant, one of the tools we would show you how to use is called Interviews by AI. Interviews by AI. And this is an AI tool that helps you prepare for interviews. You don't need to do anything special. Copy the job requirement and paste it in there. It would ask you questions and you would speak into the mic on your phone or on your laptop, and it gives you feedback. So when you look at this, even the product manager as well, the product manager, an AI tool can analyze the market data a lot better than you would. It can predict the customer needs a lot better than you would based on the use of that particular product that the customer currently has, and can optimize the product development timelines a lot faster. So you start to ask yourself the question, which areas would I need to get into and I stay relevant over the next 10 years? Because I see people making a lot of mistakes. They do all they can to get into software testing role. And these are roles that are being made redundant day in, day out. All right. So ask yourself the question, what tech skills do I need to learn to get me a job quickly and ensure that I'm relevant within the space over the next 5 to 10 years? And what we have done at Tenalytics is every year we carry out an analysis to see where the demand for jobs are. And then we filter those demands. We filter the jobs based on 3 major criteria, and I'll share them with you. So we go online and we scrape data, job vacancies across the major job boards, from LinkedIn to Indeed, Glassdoor, CV Library, and so on, Total Jobs, and so on and so forth, across the 3 major economies, the US, the UK, and Canada. We get that data and analyze to see the jobs that has the highest frequency when it comes to the demand. So which roles are companies hiring for? So we are currently doing the one for 2024. So every end of the year, we carry out this analysis. Now, we take the jobs that are high in demand and we filter them using these 3 criteria. And the reason why we filter is simply because you can't focus on everything at the same time. Okay? Take, for example, ease of learning. So we look at ease of learning. How easy is it for you to learn this career path? If I want to become a robotics engineer, for example, I need some prerequisites. I need to know some level of physics, electronics, electrical electronics engineering, and so on and so forth. So it's not easy to learn. It will take me another, 2 to 3 years going for another degree, possibly going for a master's afterwards to get into robotics. So it's not easy to learn. And that was why we needed to filter which career paths are easy to learn in a way that you can apply within the space of 3 to 5 months, learn the skill, and start to transition. We also looked at ease of transitioning. So here you have the demand. Is there a demand for this role? Which we have established already from our analysis. Looking at the demand, we also took it a step further to see if somebody is coming from a customer service career path, can you easily transition to become a data analyst, for example? Can you move from a support worker, a care worker role to transition into a data science role? So the ease of transitioning had to be straightforward in a way that it is skill-based. Once you can learn the skill, you can easily transition. And that was what we also looked at. And finally, the salary must also be fantastic. So because I can get into the career path, it's easy to learn, it's easy to transition, the salary must also be great. And we came up with 8 career paths: the business analyst career path, the agile project manager, the data analyst, the data scientist, the data engineer, the cybersecurity analyst, the financial analyst, and the HR analyst. Looking at these 8 career paths, we needed to be sure that these are career paths that would be relevant for the future. AI would not come over, take over these jobs and render these jobs redundant over the next couple of years. So we needed to do some external validation. And the reports we use to validate is the World Economic Forum Future of Jobs report. All right? And I advise everybody who wants to transition to read this report. It's very, very important. It helps you understand, where should I get into? Should I go into this area? Should I think of something else before you eventually make that move? So some of the lists I've read out to you in terms of jobs that will be replaced by AI, you'd find them here. So this is the World Economic Forum Future of Jobs that shows you the jobs that would grow in demand at the left-hand side and the jobs that would decline in demand at the right-hand side. So looking at the jobs that would decline, you'd see the investment fund manager, you'd see the product manager, you'd see the organizational development specialists, who are the HR professionals, sales and marketing professionals, and so on and so forth, training and development specialists, which is also HR. Those are the jobs that are declining. So it's important for you to know which jobs would grow, and that's where you want to get into. All right? And you want to focus on the left-hand side. So what I've done, I've kept the link to this report right here for you. But if you go on Google and you simply type World Economic Forum Future of Jobs Reports, you will get this article. You get the report, you can download it. It's a PDF document, and you have access to the document. Okay. Number one job that would grow is what we are talking about today, and that's AI and machine learning. So if you're in AI, you're in the machine learning space, you're in the data science space, you would always remain relevant. Your job is highly in demand today. It would keep on growing in demand over the next couple of years. All right. That's where the world is going into. Everybody uses AI today. Meta AI, Gemini, ChatGPT, and so on and so forth. There are a ton of them you can leverage. You have the business intelligence analyst. These are the data analysts. Business intelligence, BI analyst is a derivative of data analytics. If you find yourself in this career path, you are good to go. You're in a career path that is progressive and would keep on increasing in demand. So when you ask yourself the question, why am I struggling? I cannot get a job. I want to get a sponsored job. I can't get. I want to get a job. I'm in Canada. I cannot get a job. You are probably not on the right career path, or you don't have the right skills to showcase to recruiters. And we'll talk about that as we move on during our session today. Then you have the data analyst and the data scientist, clearly written. So if you're a data analyst, you're a data scientist, you work with data, you will get a job. You will find yourself in a career path that would always remain relevant. All right. Then you have information security analyst, and these are your cybersecurity professionals. So just like Chinwe, who said, I'm here for cybersecurity. As a cybersecurity professional, you are in a career path that is progressive, a career path that is in demand and would keep on growing in demand. So you ask the question, why is the demand high, or why is the demand growing? Simple. We are generating data at an unprecedented rate. The volume of data we generate today, 90% of the data that exists in the world today was generated in the last 5 years. So let's put that into context. The world has been in existence arguably over 300,000 years. 90% of the data that we have today in the entire globe, the entire world, was generated in the last 5 years. And it's only going to increase as different companies digitalize products, we use more applications, and so on and so forth. So how do you manage this data? Organizations are looking for professionals that can help them manage the data, looking for professionals that can store the data, analyze the data, extract insights from the data, and even protect the data. And that's where the cybersecurity professionals come in. So if you're in any career path that involves the use of data one way or the other, you're in the right career path. Then you have the big data specialists, you have the data engineers, and you have the database architects. These are the professionals that build the infrastructure to manage the data and store the data for easy access. And those are the data engineers. If you find yourself here, you're in the right career path. You also have the process automation specialist. These are the professionals that ensure that whatever we do in any organization is what? Optimized. If something takes 5 days to get completed, how do we automate that process? So rather than taking 5 days, it takes just 2 days or 24 hours. And those are the business analysts. Then you have the project managers, but this time around, not just your conventional project managers, but your agile project managers. The agile project managers are the project managers that focus using the agile methodology within the tech ecosystem. Okay, so that's where you want to be, an agile project manager. Then you have the database and network professionals. These are your data engineers and cybersecurity professionals. And finally, you have the financial analyst. So anybody here who is an accountant or an auditor, and that's what you do, you should start thinking of, how do I move from the right-hand side over here, which shows that accounting and auditing would decline in demand over the next few years. How do you move from there to the left-hand side where you have career paths that are more progressive. And the move is very simple. All you have to add is what? Data to your skills. Add data analytics to your accounting, and that transforms you into a financial analyst who can use analytic tools like Excel, Power BI, Tableau, SQL, ChatGPT for analytics to analyze financial data. Okay, so we came up with these 8 career paths, and then we validated this career path using the World Economic Forum. And like I said, it's a publicly accessible report. Anybody can read it. So you don't want to make the mistake of getting into a software tester role right here that is declining. You can see the sharp decline in demand. And in the next 2 years, you come back to Tenalytics and say, hey, I need to transition to a new job. All right. You don't want to be there. You want to be in a career path that is what? Progressive. You can do the role today, but you must upskill to prepare for the future and ensure that you are future-proof when it comes to your career path. Now, out of these 8 career paths, I know Chinwe has told us the reason why she's here already, which is cybersecurity. So type into the chat, which career path are you interested in? Data analytics, data science, data engineering, cybersecurity, business analysis, financial analytics, HR analytics, and agile project management. Type into the chat. Okay, Mistura is saying data analytics. Brilliant. Fantastic career path. That is what I've done over the last decade of my career. IT business analyst. IT business analyst is a business analyst, Shegun. Putting the IT is just simply trying to distinguish technical business analyst from the IT business analyst. What you want to go for is the IT business analyst, a business analyst that focuses on tech-related products and organizations. Data science from Justin, Bumi says cybersecurity, Onyeka says agile project management. Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. And Eno says financial analytics. Now, it's very important, like I said, don't make a decision because everybody else is making that decision. Or everybody says, oh, you need to do the care job. Oh, you need to be a support worker. Oh, you need to work in the warehouse. Oh, you need to get a customer service role. You want to look at the future. Where will these roles be? Is this really what I want to do? How do I get into a career path that is progressive? A career path where I'll stay relevant and I can grow through the ranks eventually. All right. So AI is going to replace a lot of jobs. I was discussing with somebody who is in sales or who was in sales because he lost his job. And based on the conversation, he lost his sales job simply because they were replaced by a tool, an AI-enabled tool that could answer all the customers' frequently asked questions and help the customer get into the sales funnel. So he became redundant and he lost his job. So AI would replace a lot of jobs. All you need to do is make sure that that job is not yours. So number one, one thing you have to do is you need to get into the tech ecosystem. That's number one. Number two, you need to start using AI in your role. And this is the only way you're going to stay relevant over the next couple of years. So I'm going to play a very short video because people ask the question, oh, data analytics, data engineering. Will AI take my job? The answer is no. All right. But what you want to do is learn how to use AI to complement the skills you have. I do a lot of analysis today. And for those of you transitioning in 2024 or even 2023, you really don't know the advantage you have. You have tools like ChatGPT that makes your work a lot easier. You can do 2 jobs easily because you have tools and technologies that make the work a lot easier for you. All right. So AI would complement the skills you have. You can use GitHub Copilot, which is an AI tool as a data scientist to write more efficient codes to debug the codes you've written where you have errors and so on and so forth. You can use ChatGPT as an example to work with you as a technical assistant. So your job is done a lot faster. And you are in the company, you are given a task, you do it within the space of 10 minutes, and you make it seem like, oh, it took me a full day to do it. But guess what? Everybody sees you as a superstar because you are leveraging technologies to make your work a lot more seamless. All right. So I have a very short clip, about 20 seconds of video I want you to listen to from Jensen Huang. Jensen is the founder of NVIDIA. Most of you bought the stocks of NVIDIA, and NVIDIA is the driver of all the AI revolution you see today. All right. So I want you to listen to him when he was asked the questions. Ask the question, will AI replace your job? It's a very interesting short clip, but the entire interview is very fantastic. But I want you to listen to the clip. Okay. And for you to get my slides, like I mentioned earlier, get all the materials I'll share with you today, get the recording of today's session, make sure you fill the attendance form. My colleagues would share that from time to time. Make sure you fill the attendance form. All right. Okay. Chukwemeka says I'm struggling with SQL. Chukwemeka would come to that. Don't worry. Okay. I struggled with SQL as well, and I'll tell you the reason why I struggled. Remind me towards the end when we have a Q&A. So I'll tell you the reason why I struggled and what I think you should do, just like I did, to surmount that particular challenge. Now let's listen to Jensen very quickly. Okay. So sit back, relax, and listen to this very short clip that shows you and will tell you if AI would replace your job or not and what you need to do. Enjoy.
If you're not engaging AI actively and aggressively, you're doing it wrong. You're not going to lose your job to AI. You're going to lose your job to somebody who uses AI. Your company is not going to go out of business because of AI. Your company is going to go out of business because another company used AI. There's no question about that. And so you have to engage AI as quickly as possible.
Okay, short and straight to the point. If you listen and you heard all the things Jensen said, just type in a yes into the chat. So I know I wasn't the only one that listened to it. Type in a yes into the chat. Okay, fantastic. We all heard Jensen. So it's very important. You're not going to lose your job. AI makes you a lot better, a lot faster, a lot more efficient than you ever will. So compare yourself to somebody who doesn't use AI and you use AI. You would far outpace that person. And that's why it's important. Just like Jensen said, you will not lose your job to AI, but you will lose your job to somebody who uses AI. Okay. And I'm going to show you how to integrate AI into all the things you do as a data analyst, data scientist, data engineer, financial analyst, and it's part of the curriculum at Tenalytics. So I'm going to share some very quick success stories with you because it always seems impossible until you see other people that have done the same things you're trying to do. Okay. So somebody like Chukwemeka, for example, who said he's struggling with SQL. How do you ensure that you are able to surmount that problem? How did other people surmount the problem and they got jobs after joining Tenalytics? So I'll share a few stories with you and probably play one or two more videos so you listen to these professionals. So this is Lois. For those of you that joined early, you would have listened and heard all the things Lois had to say. Lois was an accountant back in Nigeria. She also had procurement experience, but she moved to the UK for her master's, just like so many people have done. But she quickly realized that what I'm doing in my master's will not get me the job that I want to get. So she came to our business analysis program. She joined our business analysis program, completed the program, completed her internship with us, and she was able to secure a job as a project manager with a company in the UK. So she currently works as a project manager. Now, the question is, project manager, but she did business analysis. What's the relationship? And that's the amazing stuff of the business analysis career path. As a business analyst, part of your curriculum includes project initiation. You're going to learn project initiation because you're going to manage projects that involves optimizing a process. So you have to manage projects. Let me use a different color so that you can all see what I'm writing clearer. Project initiation, you'd also get to learn Agile, the Agile methodology, and the Scrum framework as a business analyst. You'd learn the software development lifecycle, SDLC. You'd also learn stakeholder management, stakeholder analysis and engagement, and so on. And these are all project management related skills. So when Lois got into the business analysis program, she completed the program, but the jobs that were available in her city where she lived in were project management roles. So we worked with her during her interviews to bring out all of these skills that she had learned as a business analyst to land a job as a project manager. Okay, I'll probably play Lois's video so you get to listen to her and you'd hear all the amazing stuff, how she was able to transition within the space of 6 months. She completed the program in 4 months, and 2 months after, she secured this job as a project manager. We prepared her for our interview, worked with her, and so on. You have Ngozi. Ngozi, just like so many people, moved from Nigeria, moved to the UK, and was a customer service representative. She had also done HR back in Nigeria. She joined our business analysis program and got a job as a business analyst with a company in Huddersfield. She's currently a business analyst working for them, doing amazingly well. You have Toyin. Toyin was a pharmacist back in Nigeria. Toyin joined our data analytics program and she got a job as a benefits analyst with the NHS in the UK. Full visa sponsorship. It was a sponsored role. Toyin still works with the NHS. Amazing, amazing lady. And she got a job 1 month into the program, just 1 month into the program. And that's simply because one of the things we advise our students to do is don't wait until the end of the program before you start applying. Apply when you've completed a month and a half into the program. So data analytics, you start with problem solving, then you move into Excel. So within the space of a month and a half, you've completed your Excel classes, you've completed your problem solving classes, you can start to apply to jobs that are tailored towards the heavy use of Excel. And that was what Toyin did. She got interview opportunities. We prepared her for our interview and she landed that job with the NHS. And it came with full visa sponsorship. All right. You have so many other professionals. And I deliberately put the ladies to show other ladies that, look, the tech ecosystem is heavily dominated by men at a ratio of 75 to 25%. 75% of the tech in the tech ecosystem is dominated by men. Women dominate just 25%. So what we do at Tenalytics is to bring more women into the tech ecosystem. So if you're a lady, you want to emulate these other professionals who have jumped into the ecosystem and they are doing amazing stuff within the space. And that's simply because it doesn't matter the background, just like Tony, who was a pharmacist, just like Lois, who was an accountant. And of course, you have Busola. Busola joined our data analytics program in March this year here in Canada. Busola completed the program in July. And in that same July, she secured a job as a performance analyst with Desjardins Insurance here in Canada. Then you have Abigail. Abigail was a care worker in Saskatchewan. She joined our business analysis program, and Abigail got a job as a business analyst with the government of Alberta. So she moved from Saskatchewan to Alberta to work with the government as a business analyst. You also have Abisola. Abisola is also in the UK. Abisola joined our data science program, our full stack data science program. She was out of work and she needed to get jobs and interviews. She came into the data science program. 1 month into her program as well, she was able to land a job. And this was because Abisola had some background, in data science before she came in. But what we did for Abisola extensively was helping her with her CV, helping her with with her LinkedIn profile, and working with her during her interviews. And that was how she secured the job. First of all, as a Python curriculum designer. Then she also got another job as a machine learning engineer with a company in the UK. Then you have Oluwafikayo. Oluwafikayo had a background in finance and accounting. She joined our full stack data science program. She's also in Canada, and she landed a job 1 month before she completed the 4 months program. So 3 months into her journey, she landed a job as a business solutions analyst with a company in Canada. I want you to listen to Oluwafikayo. What I've also done is I've kept all the links so you can listen to all these amazing professionals. The links are all there for you to listen to them, so you can get some level of inspiration, how they started, what they did. But I want you to listen to Oluwafikayo, okay? So I'm going to play the video. It's a 90-second video, thereabout. So you get to listen to what Oluwafikayo has to say. And I'm sure you'd learn 1 or 2 things from there. All right, so sit back, relax. Let's enjoy Oluwafikayo. Okay, so make sure the audio is good. All right, so let's listen to Oluwafikayo and how she was able to transition.
I'm so happy I got the job. I got the job 1 month to the end of my program. Good afternoon. My name is Oyefikayo Adesina. I got to know about analytics through one of their Instagram adverts at that point where I just needed a direction. I would say that is still one of the best decisions I've ever made in my career. Ever since I joined them, the classes, resources, instructors, they are great people. They are always there to support you. You have the Watch Me Do It videos where you can go at your learning pace, and you have the Saturday classes. You have assignments, you have team project where you learn, you work with different people on your team. Joining Analytics has helped me a lot because my background is finance. I'm new to tech. I've never done coding in my life, but now I can tell you I have a very good grasp of what is going on. They have the live sessions, they have the weekly, they have Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday programs where you can join CV review sessions where you can review your CV. You have your interview review sessions. This kind of support they give to you will be surprised. When I booked my interview session, they were really on my case. Like, they just gave me that support, they gave me that confidence I needed for the interview. And I'm so happy I got the job. I got the job 1 month to the end of my program. And even after getting it, getting a reference letter, like all the support you need to succeed, they will hold you by the hand till you are where you need to be.
I know
So that's Oluwafikayo, absolutely phenomenal lady. Came to Canada, had a finance background, but she struggled to land a job. And she realized very quickly, I need to get into the tech ecosystem. The Canadian job market is very competitive. So for me to compete and get the jobs available, she came into our data science program, and you heard all the things she had to say. We worked with her during her interviews, all the job application process, her CV, her LinkedIn. And Oluwafikayo is a business solutions analyst today with a company here in Canada. So I've kept all the links, possible links to help you watch and listen to how people have joined and they have transitioned and they're in career path, not as a customer service professional, with all due respect to customer service professionals, but in career path where you really see a thriving career for yourself. Okay, so all the links are right there. The tech ecosystem is amazingly fantastic for professionals across the entire ecosystem. Okay, the demand for jobs are immense in the UK, in the US, in Canada. But how do you start to push and get those opportunities? Now, we've done extensive work in the UK, helped over 2,000 people in the UK to get their very first jobs. Okay, we moved from the UK to Canada this year, January 2024. We registered Analytics here in Canada so we can help more Africans in Canada to also make that transition. Okay, so if you're in Canada, anywhere across all the provinces, and you are not a part of the Analytics program, you are missing out on a whole lot. And one of the first things we did when we came into Canada was to connect with other businesses here so we can give more value, get more Africans into the tech ecosystem, people of the Black community. So we got into the Alberta Catalyzer, we got into the Alberta Catalyzer program, and this is a program that helps companies to scale and to also provide immense value to their customers. So that's me over there, okay, with other founders of other companies, and that's Efemena, the co-founder right here, and that's me taking a picture around the accelerator we got into. So the focus for us is to ensure that we are able to bring more people of the Black community into the tech ecosystem as fast as possible. All right. So again, like I mentioned, we've done extensive work in the UK. You would see that for people who got sponsorship, they came into our business analysis program, data analytics program, data science program, and so on and so forth. And we are here to do the same as well in Canada. All right. Now, out of these 8 career paths, I'm going to walk you through what it takes to get into any of them. Because one of the mistakes people make is you want to learn data science, but you're starting with the wrong thing. Or you want to learn project management, but you're learning the traditional project management, and you wonder why you cannot get a job. All right. So I'll show you all the different career paths, what you need to take into consideration, and how you can get started. So get your pen, get your notepad, and take things down so you can take things away from today's session. And I'm going to start with the business analysis program, and we'll try to keep it as simple as possible. Now, let's imagine you have a friend, and your friend owns a business. She sells handbags on social media. She sells handbags on Instagram, on Facebook, and on TikTok. So when customers want to buy from her, they send her DMs, they place a phone call through to her to buy bags. And when they call or they send a DM, there is somebody at the back end who is recording the customer details manually with a pen and paper. So because it is very manual, a lot of mistakes are made. Take, for example, a customer calls in and says, hey, I want to buy a red bag. The person writes it down, red bag. I want the bag to be a Michael Kors bag, okay? So the person writes it down, a Michael Kors bag. And my address, the delivery address is BD6 1QN. The person writes it down, BD6 1QM. But I said N for nose. I didn't say M. And these are the mistakes that come up. So in this business, because things are manually driven, customers are getting the wrong orders, incorrect orders, because somebody has written a letter M instead of a letter N. And mistakes are made. The wrong bags are delivered to customers. Customers' bags are delivered to the wrong address, and so on and so forth. As a business analyst, you go into this company and you help them map out their process. Okay, remember, as a business analyst, you focus on what? Processes. Every business comprises of people, comprises of technology, and comprises of what? Processes. So as a business analyst, this is your focus area, the processes. So how does the customer order and how do they receive their order? How is the order delivered to them? You map out the current state, the as-is process. And in mapping out the as-is process, you're going to sit down with all the stakeholders. You'd sit down with the customer service rep who receives the phone call and documents the details. You sit down with the CEO, who is your friend that owns the company. You sit down with the store manager who buys and stores the bags. You sit down with the delivery guy who delivers the product to the customers. And you are able to map out a process and you come up with the current state. What happens? First of all, customers would order by calling or by sending DMs. Secondly, somebody is manually writing it down. They scan through the notebook to check if the item is available. If the item is available, they print out the order details and they go to the store to manually validate that, okay, the item is available on my notes. Is it actually available in the store? And all of this takes time. They again would prepare the shipping labels, call the courier to come pick the bag up before they deliver the bag to the customer. But guess what? Because the process is so manual, it takes them 3 days. So once you've mapped out the current state, as a business analyst, you go and research what our competitors doing. If our competitors are delivering within 24 hours or within 2 days, they are doing better than us. So we are likely losing customers to the competitors. So what are they doing that we are not doing? What is obtainable currently in that industry that you're not doing at the moment? That's your role as a business analyst. So once you've carried out your research, you have the gaps, the inefficiencies with this current process. You come up with a future state. What is an optimized process? The to-be process for us to deliver bags more efficiently without incorrect orders or delayed deliveries. And you recommend that an order management system must be implemented. Build a website, and that website must have an order management system. So build a website so customers would order online. The website has an order management system. So once you load up the inventory on the website that you have 100 bags, once a customer orders a bag, what happens? You now have 99 minus 1. So without manually going to check a physical store, you can know that you have bags or you don't based on your inventory system on your website. Now, you've also recommended that that order management system must be able to automatically generate order details, print the shipping labels, and manually schedule the pickup with the delivery guys and the courier services. Then the courier would pick it up and deliver to the customer. Because this is more, technology driven. You have a website, you have an order management system that has an automatic inventory. Things are done faster, and this takes only 5 hours. So you moved from 3 days to 5 hours by simply doing what? Recommending that we build a website, and that website should have an order management system where customers can order online, enter their details, enter their address. The address would have a geolocation feature, so you can't possibly make a mistake. And you also have an inventory system as well, where you can tell how many bags do we have left, how many bags do we need to restock or not. And this is what makes the process seamless. And that's the role of the business analyst. How do you optimize processes? How do you automate processes in an organization? And this is putting it simply, okay? So the skills you need to become a business analyst, number one, you need some data skills. You must know how to use Excel. You must know how to use Power BI. You must know how to use SQL. Basic data analytics skills as a business analyst is crucial. For the modern business analyst in 2024, if you don't have these skills, you will struggle to get a job. So you start by learning your data skills. And these are the skills that would enable you apply to jobs like business data analyst. So business data analysts are business analysts that have a flavor of data analytics. So your role is predominantly business analysis related, but you also have a feature of data analytics as part of what you'd be doing. Then you move into process mapping. Process mapping using tools like Lucidchart and tools like Draw.io. And these are the tools you'd use to map out the process. How does the process start and how does it end? All right. And this is how you build your process maps, your diagrams, and all of that. So you can see the current process, look for the inefficiencies, and you know exactly how to cover those gaps and optimize those inefficiencies. Okay. Cut those inefficiencies to optimize the process. You would also get to learn project initiation planning. Now you have recommended that we need to build a website. The website needs an order management system, an inventory management system. You would manage that project until that project is delivered, the website is delivered, and it meets all the requirements. So you must have project management skills as a business analyst. And this was what helped Lois to get a job as a project manager, even though she only did our business analysis program. So project initiation planning, Agile and Scrum for projects. So you'd learn how to use the Agile methodology and the Scrum framework for what? Project. And you'd use Jira to track your project deliverables. You'd learn how to use Trello to manage your team members and track their individual tasks and responsibilities. You'd learn how to use Confluence to collaborate on projects as well. So these are the project tools you'd learn. You'd learn the software development lifecycle. The website is a software. All right. How do you build that website? You need to know how software applications are designed. Sorry, I think I'm getting a notification. How applications are designed, how they are planned, designed, how they are built, how they are tested, how they are deployed, and so on and so forth. Okay. Outside African, you are requesting to turn on the AI companion, and I'm declining. Please don't request again. It is distracting. All right. So the recordings and everything will be shared with you. Okay. So ensure you fill the attendance form and everything will be shared with you. You don't need to request to record yourself and all of that. The recording will be made available to you. Make sure you fill the attendance form and you get all the materials from today. Okay. You would learn requirement fundamentals, which is you sitting down with all the different stakeholders and understanding that website. What do we need to have on the website? What are the functional requirements? What features should we have? Should people be able to upload? Should they be able to download pictures? So what functional requirements, what non-functional requirements? So you'd sit down with the different stakeholders and gather all these requirements. And at the end of the day, you would build what we call a business requirement document, a BRD. The business requirement document is what you share with the technology team that would build this website. Then you'd learn elicitation, asking the right questions to get the right answers for the problems you're trying to solve. Stakeholder analysis and engagement. How do you communicate with your stakeholders? How do you rank your stakeholders based on their influence? And so on. Then you'd learn ChatGPT. The reason why we are here today, AI. So this is the AI embedded to the program. How do you use ChatGPT as a business analyst? You also get to learn this. All right. So the program is for 4 months. You would learn 2 months in class and 2 months working on a real world project. So the internship for 2 months is what gives you that hands-on skill to work on an end-to-end project. And your project simply involves you working for a company that has an issue with their HR department. HR department is manual. People send messages and emails when they want to go on leave. All right. So how do you go in there as a business analyst, work with the Agile project manager, work with the software developer, a real software developer, to build a HR portal where employees can go there, update their details, they can go there, apply for leave, and everything is automated. And that's the internship you're going to work on. So when you get into an interview and you're asked questions, tell me a time you have been involved in a process optimization project and you had to use Jira to track your deliverables. You can speak from the point of what? Knowledge, because you've done it before. All right. Your classes are Saturdays and Sundays. Saturdays, you have a live class. Your live class is where you have a trainer like myself in class with you, and you are working together, solving projects, working together, learning all the techniques that you need to learn to become a business analyst. And it doesn't matter where you are. You could be in the UK, in the US. If you're in the UK, you have a class 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And if you're in Canada, you're in the US, you have a class that fits your time zone, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Mountain Time. And on Sundays, you have a self-paced class. You don't have a live class. So it's a blended learning approach. You join your live classes on Saturdays, and on Sundays, you have a self-paced class. I'll show you what the platform looks like before we wrap up today. So that's the business analyst. All right. The salaries are also phenomenal. As a business analyst, you are earning amazing salary. If you're in the UK, it's about £52,500. In Canada, over 74,000 Canadian dollars. In the US, over 85,000 US dollars. Now, in organizations where they have a project manager, an agile project manager, you as the business analyst would not need to manage that project. You become the project owner. Okay. The agile project manager would take it up from there. So you've recommended that we need to build a website, and the website needs to have what? An order management system for that business. If there is an agile project manager in that company, you'd work together to ensure you deliver that particular website. Okay. So the agile project manager would take it up from here and manage the project. So the role of the agile project manager is to take that website project with the order management system and break it into multiple pieces that are easy to manage. Into multiple pieces, like number one, we need to first of all build the user login page. Number two, we need to do what? Build a storefront with the product listings. And number three, we need to do what? Build a facial recognition feature for easy login. So you're taking that entire project and breaking it into smaller, manageable pieces. And they are called what? Sprints. So each manageable piece is called a sprint. And this is the Scrum framework as part of the Agile methodology. By doing it this way, you don't have to wait until the entire website is built before you deploy it to the users, before the users can start working with the website. And that's why Agile is very important in the tech ecosystem. If you use WhatsApp today, every day you see new updates to WhatsApp, you see new updates to Zoom, you see new updates on your Instagram, things that were not there 2 months ago, you have them there. That's because these products were built using the Agile framework, the Agile methodology. So once you've broken the website, the project into manageable pieces, a typical sprint will take about 2 to 4 weeks to complete. And you focus on the first sprint. So sprint one, build the user login page. You start building, you manage the software developer, the UI UX designer, you work together, build the first sprint within 2 to 4 weeks, and then you send it to the users. We have a new website. We want you to start using the website. All right. So you deploy to the users. As you deploy to the users, what happened? They start using it and they give you feedback. As they give you feedback, you take that feedback and you make it what? Better. So they'll tell you that, oh, I tried to log in, I faced this error. You correct the error immediately. Oh, I tried to do this. I tried to do forget password. I didn't get an OTP in my email to, do a new password. You address that issue and you make it better. Then you move to the second sprint, another 2 to 4 weeks. You build a storefront with the product listings. Then you send it to the users again. They use and they give you feedback. So what you are simply doing is you are deploying incrementally. You deploy incrementally. Traditional project management does not work this way. Traditional project management is sequential. You start, you design what you want to build, you start building, you test, you deploy, and then you maintain. So if it's going to take you 6 months to complete the project, you're going to complete the entire project for 6 months before you start giving it to the users. And it's only after you've built, you can start making changes. All right. So when you do this, what happens? You might be making changes a little bit too late, and that's not good for the business. So the Agile methodology is what? Incremental deployment. You adapt to the needs of the users. So you're building the perfect product for them at the end of the day. All right. So the final sprint, you want to implement facial recognition. You build, you send it to them. They give you feedback. And at the end of the day, you've built the perfect product, the perfect website that meets all the requirements for that particular business. And that's what the Agile methodology is all about. And as an Agile project manager, that's your role. Take a project, break it into multiple sprints, which is called your sprint planning. Then you jump into the sprint and start building. Once you've built, completed the first sprint, you have a sprint review where you sit down with the software developer, everybody, and you review to be sure that you've met all the requirements for that particular sprint. Then you deploy. Okay. And as an Agile project manager, you're going to start, you'd learn the project management methodologies and structure, the project management skills and communications, the Agile methodology. Now, the beauty about Agile is you can work as a Scrum Master as well. Because Agile, when you look at Agile, Agile is the methodology, and you have 3 key frameworks as part of the Agile methodology. Number 1 is Scrum. So Scrum is only a framework in the Agile methodology. Then you have Kanban, which is another framework. And then you have Lean, which is another framework. Okay, and that's why as an Agile project manager, you can work as a Scrum Master as well. And you can even combine the two, Scrum and Kanban, and you get something called Scrumban. Okay, and when you have this, you become a unique, sought-after professional within the tech ecosystem. So you'd learn how to use the Agile and the Scrum framework, understanding the Scrum framework, the Scrum artifacts, the advanced Scrum and Agile practices. You'd learn how to use Jira to track project deliverables because that's your bread and butter every day. You'd learn how to use Trello to track the progress of your team members working on projects. You'd collaborate on projects using Confluence. You'd learn how to use the Kanban boards, the Agile metrics and reporting, burn down charts, burn up chart velocity. You'd learn the Nexus Scale Scrum, how to implement Scrum across multiple teams in an enterprise. And then we prepare you for the Scrum Master examination. All right, your program is for 4 months, 3 months in class and 1 month internship. The same internship the business analyst would work on, where is a HR department, they have a manual process. You would be the Scrum Master on that particular project. And at the end of the day, you'd build a HR portal where employees can enter their email, enter their password, and they can log in to have access. Request for leave, update their details, and that's what you're going to build. Your classes are on Saturdays and Sundays. Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Sundays, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. So unlike the business analysis program, the Scrum Master program has live classes on Saturdays and live classes on Sundays. Now you have built, and the salary in the UK, £53,000, Canada, almost 6 figures, 97,000 Canadian dollars. In the US, 6 figures, 120,000 US dollars for the Agile project manager. Now that you've built that website, between the business analysts who came up with a recommendation after analyzing the process, the project manager, the Agile project manager has worked with the team, built the website with the order management system. Now they have a website that has an order management system. They have a more efficient product that can make the process move a lot faster, deliver to more customers. The business wants to know, the CEO wants to know, how many customers have we served from January to October? Okay, or from Q1 to Q3, we want to know how many customers have we served. All right, remember you have the website, and remember you also have your Instagram, you have your TikTok, and you have your Facebook. Okay, now not everybody would transition immediately into the website order management system and all of that. You still have customers who would buy from Instagram and so on. Now, you cannot analyze this data knowing the total number of customers you've served from Q1 to Q3. You now need to do what? Get all the data into one single location. And that's where the data engineer comes in. So now we've moved from business analysis, agile. We are moving to what? Data engineer. What do they do? Who are they in a company? The data engineers are referred to as the data providers. The providers. They provide data. Without the data analysts cannot work. The data scientists cannot do their jobs. The financial analysts cannot do their jobs. The HR analysts cannot do their jobs. So the data needed to do the job is provided by the data engineer. So the data is on the website, a database on the website. It's in a database from Instagram, from TikTok, from Facebook. They would create something called what? ETL pipelines. They create the data infrastructure across an organization to ensure that data flows from where the data is generated to where the data needs to be. All right. So they create something we call ETL pipelines. Let me write it. ETL pipelines. Okay. So they move data from the website's order management system. Data from where? Instagram. Data from TikTok. Data from Facebook. They create pipelines across all these systems, all the data sources, and they move the data into a central location. A central what? Location called the data warehouse. Now, from this data warehouse, it is easy for anybody to go in and access the data that they need. The data analyst can go to the data warehouse. The data scientist can go to the data warehouse. The HR analyst can go to the data warehouse. The business analyst can go to the data warehouse. Everybody can access the data in a central location. And that's the role of the data engineers. They provide what? Data. Simply put, okay? So remember, like I said, ensure that you fill the attendance form. You don't need to send your emails. I can see some people sending emails. You don't need to send your emails. All you have to do, fill the attendance form to ensure that you receive all the details. Bimbo, I'm going to take your questions, okay? Bimbo is asking a question that I have some knowledge of Excel and Power BI. What would you recommend? I'll come to that, Bimbo, as a pharmacist. What about Azure DevOps instead of Jira? Azure DevOps is also fantastic. As a business analyst, you'd also learn Azure DevOps. We're going to teach you Azure DevOps, Jira. Yeah. So that's Dayo's question. We'll come back and answer all those questions, okay? Chukwemeka, I haven't forgotten the SQL challenge that you have. How can you overcome SQL? Now, once the data warehouse is built by the data engineer, the data analyst can now access the data warehouse to answer the question, how many customers have we gotten from Q1 to Q3 2024? Okay, so as a data analyst, let me use a different, let me erase this. Okay, let me erase it so that we have, so we all know that the data engineer creates what? Pipelines and builds a data warehouse. Okay, let's call it DW. This is where all the data is. The data analyst can now come into this data warehouse and access the data in that data warehouse to answer the question, and would use the different analytic tools like Excel, Power BI, Tableau, and so on to analyze and say, draw something like this, okay? Come up with a chart. Okay, come up with a chart, Q1, Q2, and Q3. So from this data warehouse, the data analyst would access using what? SQL, SQL. Get the data into Excel or Power BI and builds this chart to show us that in Q1, across all the systems, from the website to Instagram to Twitter to TikTok, we're able to get 300 customers. In Q2, we got 700 customers. In Q3, we got 400 customers. Now, if you are the owner of that business and you are presented with this, Q1, we had 300, Q2, we had 700, and Q3, we had what? 400. This is what happened in the business. I'll come back to my question. This is what happened in the business. As a data analyst, you must always answer that question. What happened? How many customers did we get? How many customers did we lose? How many subscribers did we get? Every company wants to know what happened. So that's the first question the data analyst always answers. What happened? All right. And when you're answering the question, what happened, you are doing something called descriptive analytics. Please pardon my handwriting. Okay. Descriptive analytics. So I'm going to ask my question again. When you look at this, let's assume you are the owner of this business. Q1, you had 300 customers. Q2, you had 700 customers. And Q3, you had 400 customers. What would you ask next? What's your next question after looking at this? What's your next question after looking at this? Type into the chat. Ajoke, I'll show you how to get the recording, okay? So don't worry about that. I'll show you how to get the recording. So type into the chat. What question would you ask next once you see this type of analysis presented to you? Type in the chat. Let me see. Let me know your thoughts. Japa says, why the spike in Q2? Absolutely. Chike says, why did it happen? Brilliant. What did we do differently to give us more customers in Q2? Damn, that's a perfect question to ask. What did we do in Q2 that gave us more than 100% increase in customers? Because if I know what we did, we can do what? Double down on that and ensure we are able to increase our customer base going into subsequent quarters. And that's why, as a data analyst, your first question is what happened? You've shown what happened. From what happened, you have to go to the next question, which is what you are all asking. Why did it happen? Why did it happen? And when you're answering the question, why did it happen? You are going deeper into the data to find out, did we run a particular sales promotion? Did we have a discount? Did we do any type of marketing, influencer marketing? Did we open up new channels? What led to that spike in number of customers between Q1 and Q2? And when you're answering this question, you are performing what we know as diagnostic analytics. Okay, analytics. You are diving deeper into the data to look for trends, look for patterns, and find out what happened, why it happened. Why did we also decline from 700 to 400? So whatever we did wrong, we stop doing it so that we don't keep on declining in our customer base and so on. So as a data analyst, once you've shown what happened, you have to dive deeper to find out why did it happen. And then in between all of this, you give your what? Your recommendations. So you're always going to do what? Make presentations after you've done your analysis. This is what happened. This is why it happened. This is what we need to do. In Q1, between Q1 and Q2, we ran ABC promotions. We worked with ABC influencers, and this influencer was the highest generating influencer for us. We need to keep on using them. We need to run this type of promotions. We need to get these type of customers in these locations based on the analysis you've done. Now, the data scientist, this is where the data analyst's job stops. What happened? Why did it happen? The data scientist, on the other hand, will take it a step further to ask the question number 3. Let me write it somewhere here. Question number 3, which is what will happen. So you are looking into the future. You are more futuristic. You are predicting what will happen in the future. So you've seen what has happened in the past, historical data. You've seen why it happened. Now you want to predict what will happen in the future. All right. And for you to predict what will happen, you must understand statistical modeling. And you must also understand machine learning. So between statistical modeling, machine learning, that's where Python comes in. So you can't be a data scientist and say, oh, I'm running away from statistics, or I'm running away from coding using Python, but you want to be a data scientist. It doesn't work that way. You can do that as a data analyst, but not as a data scientist. So the data scientist would take a step further to see in Q4, between October, November, and December, what will happen? How many customers are we likely going to generate based on what happened in the past and why it happened? And the prediction can be that we're going to get 600 customers. And that's the role of the data scientists. They see into the future, they look into the future, and they can tell us what is likely going to happen based on what happened and why it happened. And whenever you are answering the question, what will happen, you are doing what we call predictive analytics. Predictive analytics. So I've taught you 3 different phases of analytics today. There are more than 3, but the data analyst would do descriptive, which is answering the question, what happened. Would do diagnostic, which is answering the question, why did it happen? Then the data scientist takes it a step further to answer the question, what will happen, which is predictive analytics. All right. And for you to get all these things, to understand how to predict, you need to have certain set of skills. As a data analyst, you start with problem solving. You need to know how to break problems into multiple parts, solve those problems one after the other, invariably solving the entire problem. You're going to learn how to use Excel. You see that chart that I built, Q1, Q2, Q3. You're going to do that using Excel. How can you use Excel to do analysis and show what happened? How can you also use SQL, structured query language, that enables you to interact with databases? So when the data engineer, who is the data provider, provides the data in a data warehouse, how do you access that data from the data warehouse? You do that using what? SQL, SQL, structured query language. Then you learn how to use Power BI for more robust data visualization, for more automated reporting, and you learn Tableau as well. So between Power BI and Tableau, they pretty much do the same thing: business intelligence, automating your reports. However, when it comes to business intelligence, Power BI ranks the highest in terms of value, followed by Tableau. So some companies have a preference for Power BI. Some would have a preference for Tableau, but it's always good for you to know the two. So that opens up opportunities for more jobs. Then you learn data storytelling. So once you've done all the analysis with Excel, Power BI, your CEO does not care all the analysis you've done. All right. They want to know what happened. How many customers? Where did they come from? Why did we have this increase? Why do we have this decline? You must be able to tell them in a logical manner that is non-technical for them to understand what needs to be done to take the company to where it wants to go. All right. And that's a data storytelling skill. You're going to learn that. You learn AI for data analytics using ChatGPT and Microsoft Fabric. All right. Your program is for 4 months, 3 months in class, 1 month internship. Just like the other programs I explained earlier, you don't need to have any particular experience. Ngozi was a customer service professional. Lois was an accountant. Toyin was a pharmacist. All different backgrounds, the same, similar career path. You don't need to have any prerequisites. Everything you need to learn, you start from the foundation You have classes on Saturdays, your live classes. If you're in the UK, Nigeria, Europe, France, Poland, similar time zones, you join the class 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturdays. If you are in Canada, you are in the US, you have a class 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Mountain Time. So for those in the UK, for example, if you can't meet up with the morning class 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., you can join the class in the evening for those in the US and Canada, which would be 6 p.m. your time to 9 p.m. So it's flexible and meet your schedule at every given point in time. And on Sundays, you don't have a live class, you have a self-paced class. So when Oluwafikayo was talking about how she was able to get her job, the Watch Me Do It videos, I'll show you what the Watch Me Do It videos are. These are the videos you watch at your own convenience. Any point in time, any Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, anytime you can watch those videos, you have access to the platform. The data scientist, you must learn statistics. That's the foundation. So most people would start with Python. If you start learning data science from Python, you'll get frustrated. You can't help it. You will drop out. You would abandon it because you don't understand the fundamentals of data science. And it all starts from statistics. Then you'd learn Excel for predictive analytics. You build a linear regression model in Excel. You'd learn the moving average technique for forecasting in Excel, the exponential smoothing method for forecasting, the naive approach. You'd learn different forecasting techniques using Microsoft Excel. Because most of the time, most of the activities you need to do in the office would require the use of Excel, the use of Power BI, the use of Tableau, before you even jump into Python. But most people jump into Python as the first thing they need to learn, which is a big mistake. It's equivalent to you building a house. And rather than starting from the foundation, you start from the roof. You don't want to be like that. You learn Tableau, then you move into SQL, structured query language, because SQL is a common denominator in any role that has to do with data. You must learn SQL. Then you learn Python programming for your exploratory data analysis, machine learning, supervised machine learning, unsupervised machine learning, and you know the type of algorithms to use when you need to build a particular machine learning model to help you predict what will happen in the future. You'd learn computer vision, where you build programs that can detect objects. If you put a picture in front of your computer with a computer vision program, it can detect the eyes, the mouth, the pose of that particular object. The same technology that drives your facial recognition on your phone. If you take your iPhone, you put it in front of you, what happens? It unlocks the phone with facial recognition. The technology that drives that is computer vision. You're going to build something like that. And if we have time, I'll show you what our students have built on LinkedIn. They always post on LinkedIn. You'd learn version control with GitHub, and then you'd learn AI for data science using GitHub Copilot and ChatGPT. So you'd see that all the programs have some level of AI embedded to it. Just like I mentioned, is very crucial when you want to make that transition. Then you learn Microsoft Fabric. Fabric is a platform recently launched about 2 years ago, roughly, by Microsoft. And this contains different materials for analytics. I can be in Alberta, Canada. I can build a data lake, and I can share that data lake with Chukwuemeka, who is in the UK. And Chukwuemeka can build a machine learning model from that data. Okay, Japa can take that same data lake somewhere in the US and build a Power BI dashboard from that same data lake. So it's a platform that you can collaborate, and it has all the different elements of analytics in it. So companies are moving into that platform today because they want to have everything in one place. So you having this skill gives you a unique opportunity that others don't have. The program is also for 4 months, and the timeline is similar to the data analytics. 4 months in class, 3 months in class, 1 month internship. All right. So total of 4 months. Live classes are on Saturdays. On Sundays, you don't have a live class. Okay. Then we go to the data engineer. You see, when I mentioned that the data engineer is a data provider, it sounded very simple. Oh, yeah, I'm just going to provide data, right? But your role is very crucial. And if you look at the inscription on my t-shirt, it says, data engineers are the unsung heroes of big data projects. So you don't see the data engineers presenting, you don't see them analyzing data. So you don't know how important their work is. So they are the unsung heroes when it comes to what? Big data projects. But their role is very important. And interestingly, the data engineer earns more than the data scientist and also the data analyst because of the importance of their role. Now you have to learn introduction to data engineering, what it's all about. You learn SQL, structured query language, and Python programming. SQL and Python, you'd fall in love with it because you'd use this every single day as a data engineer. All right. You'd learn Linux for bash scripting. You'd learn how to get data from databases, APIs, script the web, ETL pipelines, build ETL pipelines. You'd learn how to use Apache Spark and Airflow for your data pipeline automation. So once you've created pipelines from different platforms, Instagram, just like your friend's business, Instagram, TikTok, the website's database, you must automate it in a way that even when you are not there, whoever needs to use the data can use the data, access the data, and data is always uploaded and updated into that data warehouse. So you must do your pipeline automation. You'd learn cloud engineering using Microsoft Azure and Google Cloud Platform, GCP. Then you'd learn version control with GitHub. And finally, AI for data engineering using ChatGPT and GitHub Copilot. The data engineering program is a bit longer than others. It's for 5 months, 3 months in class, 2 months internship. Your internship is an end-to-end extensive data engineering project where you would scrape data from multiple platforms, build a data warehouse so that the data scientists and the data analysts can access that database. All right. Then your classes are on Saturdays, just like the other programs, only on Saturdays. You have sessions from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. for those in the UK, those in Nigeria, similar time zones in Europe. And if you're in the US, Canada, that's 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. on Saturdays. On Sundays, you don't have a live class. You get to watch your videos on the LMS, and I'll show you the LMS. Okay. The data analyst would earn about £40,000 in the UK, $64,000 in Canada, $72,000 in the US. The data scientists, a bit higher, £55,000 on the average per annum, $94,000 in Canada, 6 figures, 121,000 US dollars. And the data engineer earns higher because of the technical skills required, number one. And number two, a lot of people run away from Python. So if you get into this career path, you learn how to use Python, you learn how to use SQL and all the other technologies, you can easily get into a data engineering role. £65,000 per annum in the UK, $102,000 in Canada, and 134,000 US dollars as a data engineer on the average. The financial analyst, the HR analyst, these are both data analysts. The financial analyst is a data analyst. The HR analyst is a data analyst. The only difference is they don't analyze all types of data like the data analyst. The financial analyst would focus on only financial data. So you help companies look for areas for cost optimization. So if you work with that your friend who runs or owns the bag manufacturing company, you help them do what? Identify areas to optimize their costs. You help the business check for the business health, the financial health, by looking at the profitability metrics. What is the return on equity, return on investment? You want to do sensitivity and scenario analysis So when there are changes in the regulatory environment, when interest rate goes up, when unemployment goes up, what happens? How does that impact the industry? How does that impact the buying power of your customers? When that your friend decides to set up a bag production plant, how do you come up with a financial model that shows the base case, the best case, and the worst case scenario? And that's what you're going to do as a financial analyst. Okay, I think I'm going to mute everybody. Sorry about that. I think somebody unmuted. So you first of all learn the data analytics skills. All right, problem solving, Excel, Power BI, and SQL. These are your data skills. Then you move into the core financial areas. You learn accounting fundamentals. So if you don't have an accounting background, you learn the fundamentals of accounting in class. You learn how to analyze different financial ratios, profitability metrics, return on equity, return on investment. You learn how to build financial models from scratch. How do you come up with your assumptions? How do you build a model to show you the base case, the best case, the worst case scenario? How do you value a business based on the business objectives, based on the business assets, and so on and so forth? Sensitivity and scenario analysis. If there is an economic downturn, if there's a regulatory change, if the Bank of England reduces interest rates, if the Feds in the US reduces interest rates or unemployment goes up, how does that impact the budget we had set at the beginning of the year? Those are the type of analysis you'll be carrying out. Then you'd learn AI for financial analytics using ChatGPT. Your program is for 4 months, just like the data analytics, data science, 3 months in class, 1 month internship. And the timeline is also the same. Saturdays, you have your live class. If you're in the UK, US, you have a time that fits your schedule. Same with the HR analytics. As a HR analytics professional, as a typical HR professional without the analytics, your role is in serious problems of being, rendered redundant by AI. Already today, in most organizations, HR is a cost center. They don't see HR as strategic. All right. So for you to start changing that narrative, you need to add a little bit of data analytics to your skills. So you start with problem solving, Excel, Power BI, and SQL. These are your data skills. So you're a data analyst that focuses on what? People data. You don't analyze all types of data. You analyze what? People data. So what factors predict employee turnover? If employees are resigning in the office, what factors have you analyzed the data to identify the factors that are leading to employees leaving? When you have your training budget prepared at the beginning of the year and you deploy that budget in 2024, what part of that training budget drives the business results? Which training did employees go for that led to increase in productivity? You need to do those type of analysis. If you hire people from different channels, from LinkedIn, websites, you have consultants that recruit for you. Which of these channels give you the best performing employees so that you can double down on those sources of hire and ensure you are able to optimize those channels? So once you've learned the data analytics skills, just like the data analyst, you move to what? HR analytics and performance evaluation, HR metrics and life cycle. What metrics do I need to measure? Absenteeism, diversity and inclusion, talent management, attrition, and so on and so forth. What metrics can help me tell if the company is doing well or not? HR analysis and dashboarding. How do I see at a glance using a tool like Excel or Power BI to build a dashboard of what is going on in the company and why that is happening? Then you learn how to automate your reports and collaborate using Power BI desktop and Power BI service. So how do you automate your reports? Because you would have reports that you present every week or every month or quarterly, depending on the organization. So you don't want to be building in perpetuity. You want to build the report and only update your data going forward. So your report is automated. You'd learn how to do that. You'd learn how to build your case and create action. So if you're currently a HR professional, you are currently looked at as a cost center to the business. You are not strategic. When the strategic direction of the company is being developed or designed at the end of the year for 2025, you're not involved because they don't see you as being strategic. How do you start changing that narrative? We'll show you how to do that by learning to speak up in meetings, learning to present your findings in a more analytical manner. Then you'd learn AI for HR analytics using ChatGPT. 4 months program, just like the financial analytics, 3 months in class, 1 month internship. And the timeline is also similar. US, UK, around Europe, you have a timeline that fits your time zone. All you have to do is select the preferable time zone for you. If you miss the class in the morning, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. in the UK, you can join the class in the evening. For the US and the Canada guys, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. All right. And the salaries are also fantastic for both career paths. The financial analyst would earn a little bit higher than the HR analyst. In the US, $62,000, $71,000 in Canada, 38,000 pounds in the UK. As a financial analyst, 51,000 pounds, 74,000 US dollars, almost 70,000 Canadian dollars. Now we go to cybersecurity, the last program for today. As a cybersecurity professional, your focus is on protecting the network, protecting the systems, and protecting the data of the organization. All right. So you ensure that no external or internal threats happens or penetrates any part of the business. And the cybersecurity program focuses on 4 key areas. Number 1 is the GRC, governance, risk, and compliance. Here you are responsible for coming up with policies and procedures that align with the company's goals and the company's regulatory requirements. So you are implementing industry standards. You are also ensuring that the company adheres to its relevant laws, the GDPR, all the regulations. You are carrying out audits within the system and maintaining compliance records within the organization. So you are that person that creates the governance framework within the company. When a new hire comes into the company, how do they get access to different IT systems, the database, the data warehouse, and all other systems within the company? You create those frameworks within the organization. Then you have the SOC analyst, Security Operations Center analyst. The SOC analyst focuses on monitoring the network for any anomaly. Okay, so if ordinarily, and I like using this example, let's assume you live in the UK, you have the Lloyds Bank credit card, and then you move to Canada and you shop. It's happened to me before. This story was something that happened to me. I moved to the UK to Canada. I used my Lloyds Bank credit card to shop in Canada, and immediately my card was blocked. All right. So what happened? Why was it blocked? Why did the transaction not go through? My location had changed all of a sudden, and I was trying to shop in a country that had a different currency, and I seemed to be too far from my primary residence. As a SOC analyst, you monitor the network for those type of anomalies so you can stop those possible threats before they happen. So if that transaction was a fraudulent transaction, you'd stop the fraudulent transaction before it actually happens. Then you have the penetration testers. Penetration testers. So these are the ethical hackers. Within, I don't know who saw that advert from Apple, where they said if you can hack into any of their networks, any of their systems, you'd get $1 million. All right. So penetration testers would test. For them to be so sure, they have people in-house who have tried to hack into the system to look for loopholes and vulnerabilities within the system so they can cover those vulnerabilities. So once the vulnerabilities are covered, it's difficult for anybody else to penetrate those systems. And finally, you have the forensics, incident response, and forensics. So forensics. As a professional working within this space, what do you do? When a particular threat actually occurs, when there has been an intrusion into your network, it has happened already. You need to carry out a thorough investigation to ensure that it doesn't happen again. So you carry out root cause analysis, you carry out recovery support, ensuring you're able to restore the systems, ensure there is data integrity after that particular incident has happened. Okay, so it's very, very important. And these are the 4 key roles you focus on. And your journey starts from the very foundation: introduction to cybersecurity, foundations of computing and networking, which is where it all starts from, information security principles, offensive and defensive cybersecurity, cryptography, cyber threats and attack vectors, network security, endpoint security, web and application security, cloud security, incident response and forensics, and cybersecurity policies and compliance. Out of all the 4 career paths I listed, the GRC, the governance, risk, and compliance, is the least technical. All right, is the least technical. So there's a tendency for a lot of people to drive and dive into the career path. It's a fantastic career path. And at the same time, you don't need to use, so much technical tools like the other career path. Okay. You learn how to use Wireshark to monitor the network and also test for network intrusion and so on and so forth. You learn how to use VMware to build virtual networks within the organization, Splunk for network monitoring as well, Linux for your scripting, and so on and so forth. And that's the cybersecurity career path. Now, as we move into the end of our session today, the Q&A, it's very important that you understand how to get into all of these areas. Like Chukwuemeka, who has been trying to learn SQL and struggles to learn SQL, I'll show you some of the strategies you can deploy to ensure you don't have those same issues anymore. In the UK, as a cybersecurity analyst, you are earning about £57,000. In Canada, 6 figures, 140,000. In the US, 105,000 US dollars. And like I mentioned earlier, the problem most people face is that they don't have hands-on experience. You don't have hands-on experience. So you've learned theoretically. For somebody like Chukwuemeka, I'm not sure the platform you learn, but you're probably watching videos and just following along. You're not solving problems from a case study driven perspective, from a project-based perspective. And you'd see how to do that. The cybersecurity program is for 4 months, 3 months in class, 1 month internship. You have your live classes on Saturdays. On Sundays, you have your self-paced class. All right. So people struggle with hands-on experience. That's the problem you face. And I can bet you, Chukwuemeka, 100%, one of the major problems why you have issues with SQL is lack of practical hands-on experience. Okay. Most of you have difficulty securing relevant roles because you don't know how to apply and where to apply. You don't know how to structure your CV and your LinkedIn to open up opportunities for you. You have limited support with job applications. Oluwafikayo was able to get that job as a business solutions analyst in Canada, not because she was the smartest that applied to that job, but because she had support that worked with her during her interview, and she was able to secure that role. And that's where the interview prep comes in. So I'm going to run you through this very quickly. At Tenalytics, we offer a comprehensive solution that includes hands-on case study based training. You gain experience by working on projects. And we also help you with your employability support initiatives, your CV review, your LinkedIn optimization, your interview preparation, showing you how to navigate the job market. Where do you apply? How do you apply? So this is Victoria. Victoria wants to get started. She's a customer service rep. She wants to become a data engineer. How does she start? She starts by learning the skills, using the Tenalytics LMS for the self-paced learning and the live classes. All right. And this is where I'll take you to the platform, so you have a good idea of what the platform looks like. So whenever you join us at Tenalytics, you find yourself on this platform. This is the LMS, the Learning Management System. And down at the right-hand corner, that's Oluko, our AI trainer. Okay. So like I mentioned earlier, we have a chatbot called Oluko. If you have an interview coming up, don't bother yourself. Don't fret. If you have a problem with the code you have written on SQL, copy your codes and put it here. So you just come in here and let me start a new chat. You type in your name. So let me type my name, Adeza. Okay. And I click on submit. Oluko would ask me, what do you want to do today? All right. My name is Oluko, which stands for teacher. I am your AI trainer designed by Tenalytics. Is it a career-related problem? Is it a course content problem? Is it a code-based issue? Or is it interview preparation? Select anyone. So let me assume it's a code-based issue, and I click on this. All right. Oluko would ask me, send me the code. Is it a SQL-related issue? Is it Python? Is it Excel, Power BI? Drop your concerns below. And I can say that I want to know the difference between the having clause. Okay, so it's a SQL keyword, having and where clause. All right. Now, Oluko has been trained using the latest GPT 4.0. So it would give you results just as if you were using ChatGPT. But the difference is this is tailored to the career path you're trying to move into. All right. It's tailored to your learning, tailored to your interview, tailored to the career path. So if I select this and I send to Oluko, Oluko would give me a response on the difference and what I need to do. The having and the where clauses are both used in SQL queries to filter data. They are used at different stages of the query process. Number one, the where clause. You read what it's all about and you have an example. Then you have the having clause. You read and then you have an example. I hope that answers your question. Do you have any other follow-up question? No, I don't. Even if it's an interview, Oluko would help you prepare for the interview. Oluko would ask you to copy the job description, paste it in there, and it would give you questions that are likely going to come up and the answers for that particular interview. All right. So let's go to one of the programs. So when you register, you're on this platform, the LMS, and this is the platform where you get to watch your videos on Sundays at any point in time. It is your learning management system. So let me select one of the programs. So depending on the program you join, you'd see your course right here. So let's go to cybersecurity, for example. All right. I click on continue learning. It takes me to the cybersecurity program. Every single program is designed with a case study. All right. So again, I think that was Chukwuemeka that asked the question. Whenever you learn and you don't solve a real world problem, a real problem for a company that exists, you really would not embody that particular skill. So every single thing you learn, so this is computer networking, for example, you have a case study on networking as a cybersecurity professional. And if you click on that, you'd see your case study, which is designed. So this particular case study is for a company called TechStart Solutions. TechStart Solutions have problems with their firewall. Let me see if I can take it there. So they have problems with their firewall. They have about 30 workstations. Their network speed is slow. They have issues with their firewall. They don't have a system that is robust and protected. You are the cybersecurity professional to help them build a network configuration that ensures that their system is protected and is secured. So you're going to implement network protocols for them, DHCP, DNS, ARP. So when you solve problems like this, Chukwuemeka, it becomes a part of you. You know why you are using SQL. The problem with people learning SQL, and I faced that problem before, I never knew why. I was just writing SQL queries because I was learning SQL. Then I was learning, I think, on Coursera or something. But it was a headache for me because I never knew why I was learning. I never used it to solve real world problems. And the way I was able to overcome that was simply working on case study projects that could give me a clear understanding of, okay, these are the problems the company is facing. This is where this particular technology comes in, and the reason why I have to use this particular technology. Until you solve problems that way, you would struggle to understand the essence. So this is your LMS. Every single module has an assessment. You have a quiz, and you can always come in here, watch your videos at any given point in time. And every single thing has what? A case study. And this is where you are building your experience, solving real world problems. All right. So this is another problem. That's your trainer right there. A trainer that has 18 years experience in the cybersecurity space. So that's the person that's going to teach you how to use all these technologies and so on within the cybersecurity program. And that's the same case for all the other programs, the business analysis, financial analytics. If you have an interview, you don't need to interact with anybody. Just come in here, go to interview prep, click on schedule appointment, right? You'd have your name, you select the program you want to join, say business analysis, you are in the business analysis program, enter the link to the job you've applied to, enter all the details. What level or what stage are you in for this interview? Is it a conversation with HR, first level, second level? Select all of this, okay? And upload the CV you have used to apply. Once you've done that, you select your instructor, and just like the way you join a session for a one-on-one, somebody would work with you to prepare you for that interview, okay? And that's how you get your interview prep. Your reference letter, just like Oluwafikayo also mentioned, you get a reference letter from us by coming here, click on any of the references, you get a reference letter, and we will write a reference if the organization reaches out to say, tell us a little bit more about Chukwuemeka. Tell us more about this person. We write a compelling reference for you. So this is your self-paced platform. Every single time you can come in here, if you go to your learning management, you have your class timetable, you have access to other resources, okay? You have access to other resources right here. You also have access to your class recordings, which you can get from your past classes and so on and so forth. All right. Now I'm going to show you have a job tracker as well. The job tracker is what you use to track the jobs you've applied to. Okay. Now for your live classes, where you have your recordings, let's say you've joined the data science program. All right. You have a classroom where you have all your live sessions. So on Saturdays, when you join a live class, what happens? You come into this platform and you go to that live class. So you have statistics. This is statistics live class 2, for example. You have your class materials. You have the login details. And then if you ever miss this session for any reason, you have the recordings for you to see exactly what happened in that class. So if I click on the recordings, for example, it takes me to the class recording and I can see everything that happened in class. All the questions that were asked, everything that they did in this particular class, I get to see and I don't miss anything at the end of the day. All right. So the questions the students asked, you have access to it. And that's the beauty of being in a session like this. All right. So this is the recording for this class, and every single class has the same thing. Now let's go back to what case studies look like. For your statistics class, it's not the way you learn statistics in high school or the university. You are using statistics to solve a problem. So let's go to this case study. Okay. So this is a case study for a company called Tech Innovators, and you want to use different forecasting techniques in Excel to solve a problem for them. They are in the consumer electronics market. They specialize in, manufacturing gadgets and smartphones. But what's the problem they have? They rely on ad hoc methods for predicting future sales. They depend on the manager's intuition, in predicting, how much sales are we likely going to have? And this has led to so many operational efficiencies. They don't have a formal forecasting method or technique. And that's where you come in as a data scientist. All right. So we are going to deploy 4 different forecasting techniques to help that company solve the problem they have. So if you ever found yourself in an interview and you're asked the question, tell me about a time you've been able to accurately predict future sales of a company and the forecasting technique you utilized, you can talk about this project easily. And that's where you start to get ahead of your competition when it comes to interviews. Okay. And this was the exact case study that was solved in class. So your Saturdays are for your live classes and project-based case studies. Okay. You also have your mentorship sessions, which are your live sessions. For example, last week Thursday, the mentorship sessions are on Thursdays. We have sessions for those in the US and Canada. We have those sessions for those in the UK, Nigeria, Europe, similar time zones. And last week Thursday, we looked at how to use AI for your job applications. So when you are tailoring your CV, when you need to apply to jobs, you can't take one CV and apply to multiple jobs. You would never get a job that way. So how do you tailor your CV in a way that it matches the job requirements? It is keyword optimized to go through the ATS system. And this was a session we had. I took that session myself, so you'd see me right there. Okay. And it was a practical hands-on session where I was showing them the platforms you need to go to, how to use, this is ChatGPT, writing the keywords, providing them with the prompts that you need to use, and working on the CV in real time. All right. And this is what gives you the skill to ensure that you are able to do these things and apply to all the jobs you need to apply to yourself. So you have your mentorship sessions, your employability sessions. These are all your live sessions. So all your live class recordings are available on this platform. And if you ever miss a class and you need a one-on-one session with your trainer to bring you up to speed, this happens every Wednesdays. It's called the drop-in sessions, your makeup classes, where you're brought up to speed. So if I miss statistics class 1, for example, I'll join the drop-in session on Wednesday, 9 p.m. in the evening, drop in with my trainer, and my trainer would bring me up to speed so that I don't go to class the following Saturday with the same not, understanding what was done the previous week. So I've watched the recording, but I need extra support. You send a message in your WhatsApp group, and you can also join the drop-in session for a makeup class. Drop-ins happen from week 1 all the way down till when you are done with the training every single week. And like I mentioned, you don't know where to apply. We provide you with where to apply to jobs. If you're in the UK, where to apply to jobs, visa-sponsored jobs. If you're in Canada, where do you apply to jobs to get the best opportunities? We access and scrape these websites, get the jobs for you. We make payments to platforms, subscribe to platforms that are paid, so you don't have to pay for it. We scrape the jobs and we provide them for you. So you can in turn go in here and apply to as many jobs as possible. So every week we send jobs that we have vetted and we know that you can get. For example, you have jobs in Canada, jobs in the UK, and these ones, for example, they come with sponsorship. So does it come with sponsorship? You would see yes, yes, yes. So if you're in the UK, for example, you want to ensure you apply to these roles. And we post this every single week. Every Sundays, we post the jobs. So week 4 would come in on Sunday, week 5 comes in the following Sunday. And these are the jobs that we have vetted, and we know that if you apply, you can get them. So when you see our participants getting jobs every day, you know the reason why that happens. All right. So this is the platform, how you learn. Victoria, who is a customer service rep and wants to become a data engineer, she must follow this route. Join the live class, also join the LMS. Then all the projects I've shown you so far today, you must put them in a portfolio. Your portfolio link must be on your CV. So recruiters can see what you've done, how good you are. Your portfolio is your showroom of where recruiters can see how good you are, who they want to hire, and so on and so forth. So it's very, very important. All right. Very, very important. So I'm going to show you what the portfolio looks like. And I think we have just about 10 minutes. I'll walk you through this and I take questions. I want to hear your questions before we wrap up today. You have Victoria was in data analytics, Lemuel was in business analysis, and then you have a data science, data engineering portfolio. So let's click on this, for example. Now, this is Nwachukwu. Nwachukwu joined one of our programs, and everybody that joins any program, you must build a portfolio like this. Once you've built your portfolio, all the projects you've worked on, you warehouse them on this particular portfolio. So Nwachukwu joined our data engineering program. He's in the UK as well. If you click on one of his projects, let's click on one. Let's click on this one. I love looking at this. This is a project for a residential building, assessing the energy efficiency of this particular building. Okay, so you'd see the objective. What's the objective all about? Conducted using Google Colab, focusing on developing predictive models for heating and cooling loads based on the comprehensive data set covering the building energy performance. All right. Now, the beauty about this is any recruiter can come in here, click on the notebook, and see all the codes Nwachukwu has written. All right. All the libraries he used, how he was able to explore the data, exploratory data analysis, how he cleaned his data. So anybody who sees this knows how good Nwachukwu is with the use of Python to carry out every single thing he's done here. All right. You see the machine learning models he used. He used the linear regression right here. He used the ridge regression. He used random forest. So these are data science related machine learning models. Recruiters need to see this to be sure that you're the right person for the job. Okay. We can also check very quickly. Victoria is a data analyst. You'd see Victoria's portfolio, Victoria Uchemadu, and you'd see the project she's worked on, Deep Care Hospital ER analysis, analyzing patient data in the hospital to help improve the waiting time of patients in the ER of a hospital. If I come in here and I click to see the reports, it takes me to the dashboard she built using Tableau, and it is interactive. So what this means is any recruiter that clicks on the link on her CV, it takes them to this particular dashboard, and they can click and interact. I can deselect Q4 and it will change. I can deselect everything. It becomes blank. If I only want to see for Q1, I can select Q1 and it interacts with the dashboard. There is no doubt. Nobody would doubt that she's the right person for the job, looking at what she's built. You have Redux Airline analysis with Excel, Express food delivery using Tableau. So those projects you solve in class, you upload them into your portfolio. This is how you build experience. All right. Then Victoria, after doing that, working on projects, she joins employability sessions, employability services with us, where we help her with her CV, LinkedIn, how to navigate the job market, interview preparation, reference letters for the job, and on-the-job support. Then she also joins our networking sessions and mentorship. I showed you the mentorship session we had last week, Thursday. Every Thursday, we have mentorship sessions. And these sessions are designed. Let's go back to the mentorship. So this is the cohort that started in October, all right? Using AI for job applications and CVs. The one before that was a Q&A session where you have the opportunity to ask all the questions that you have. There's an interview simulation. How do you answer questions? So we create dummy jobs you apply to, and we ask you questions live on the call. You answer those questions as if you were in a real interview. People are listening and they're learning from your feedback and the feedback we give to you. How do you overcome imposter syndrome? This was another session taken by Efemena, the co-founder of Tenalytics. All right. So how do you overcome imposter syndrome? So you get to learn overcoming imposter syndrome, transitioning into tech with confidence. So you have the opportunity to interact with experts within the space. And that's what your networking mentorship sessions are all about. And that's what gets you the job. Okay. So I've talked about the employability skills, how important the CV, the LinkedIn, navigating the job market, interview preparation, reference letters, on-the-job support, weekly mentorship sessions, and Upwork optimization. That's what gets you the job every single time. Your technical skills is not enough to get you the job. You must also have employability skills. And that was how Rita was able to ace and get her first job and also get sponsorship. She got a COS at the time when the Home Office had made changes to, different changes that affected different people across the UK. If you were in the health and care, you can no longer bring in a dependent and so on. So many things. The salary changes, the minimum requirements, changing from the shortage occupation list to the immigration salary list. So Rita was able to get in touch with her HR. We were involved, ensuring that she was able to get the very best opportunity. So this is the screenshot saying her application under the skilled worker visa route has been successful. She immediately used the priority service and she got a decision where she got her tier 2 skilled worker visa. Okay. And that's her saying, I pushed back and forth until they gave me my COS on Thursday. I applied for the visa on Saturday using the priority service and I got the decision. But more importantly, what did she say? Thank you so much. I am grateful to Tenalytics for the program taught me SQL, which I used to get this fixed term contract job. Thank you very much. So Chukwuemeka struggling with SQL, Rita was able to secure this job based on the SQL that we taught her when she came to us for our data analytics program. All right. If you've gotten value so far, before I wrap up, type in a yes into the chat. If you've gotten value for your time, learning today, joining us today on a Saturday, type in a yes into the chat as I take your questions and we start to wrap up. The questions I have is, how do I get started? Adeza, what do I need to do? How do I join the program? What does it entail? All the things you've said so far, how do I get in? And this brings me to the final part where I told you that we have a cohort coming up and we also have an amazing discount for you. All right. So our next cohort comes up on the 7th of December, 2024. The cohort for November started on the 2nd, last week, Saturday. So the next cohort would start on the 7th of December. And you want to be a part of this cohort. Why? Because you want to start your journey before the year 2025. I had a session yesterday on LinkedIn And my advice to anybody is, if you don't want to fail in your New Year resolution, I failed in my New Year resolution this year. My New Year resolution was to learn French. I started in January, but guess what? By February, I abandoned that New Year resolution. So 80% of resolutions fail by February because people start in January with so much excitement, and that excitement tapers down eventually. So you want to get into the December cohort, and we have an amazing discount for you to get started. So for all the programs I've mentioned today, the business analysis, the data analytics, the data science, the data engineering, cybersecurity, HR analytics, financial analytics, agile project management, and Scrum. If you want to get into any of these programs, we have an amazing discount. Instead of paying $750, you have a 20% off and you get to pay only $600. And you can also make this payment in multiple installments. Now, the discount is available for the first 20 people to register. So you want to get into data analytics. You want to be like Rita. You want to be like Oluwafikayo. You want to be like Abisola, all the amazing professionals who have transitioned and how we worked with them. You want to get into the program, take advantage of the discount. And I'll show you how to take advantage of the discount. And then we'll go into questions and answers. All right. So all you have to do to take advantage of the discounts is click on this link. It takes you into the enrollment center. So take, for example, I want to join, let's say, I want to join the cybersecurity program, for example. I'm interested in cybersecurity or data engineering or business analysis, any of the programs. All you need to do is click on what? Register for cybersecurity. Okay. So once you click on that, it takes you to the payment page. And, oh, 2 people have paid already. So we have 20 slots left and 2 slots are gone already. So we have just 18 seats available. So all you have to do, you can make payments in multiple installments. A one-time payment of $600, 2 monthly payments of $300, or 3 monthly payments of $200. So you get to make your first $200 today, 9th of November. Second payment would come in on the 9th of December, and the final payment would come in on the 9th of January. Okay. So if I select this option and I click on proceed to pay, it takes me to where I get to make my payment. Okay. So you see the dates: due today, due on the 9th of December, and 9th of January. So if I click on proceed, I would enter my name, enter my email, and then I click on pay for products. I would enter my card details and I get to make payment. The moment you make payment, you receive an automated confirmation in your email and also a link for you to complete your registration. Once you've completed your registration, you'd see where you can select when you want to start. For some people, they still want to start in January, but take advantage of the discount available to be one of the first 20 people. All right. So you can do that. You can start on the 7th of January, or on the 7th of December, I beg your pardon, or you can start on the 4th of January. We have another cohort. The first cohort for 2025 would start on the 4th of January. So depending on when you want to start, you can start with us in December on the 7th or January the 4th. So that link will take you to where you get to enter all those details. So you want to register for financial analytics, for example, click on register, takes you to financial analytics. Here you have 19 slots left out of 20. So one person has registered already from this call. So you have 19 slots left. So the moment it goes to 0 seats available, the fees from $600 goes to $750. So instead of paying $200 per month, you get to pay $250 per month for 3 months. So that's the advantage of taking, that's the benefits of taking advantage of the discounts. All right. So I'm going to take questions before we wrap up today. Don't forget, the discount is only for the first 20 people. First 20 to register, you also get the advantage of making payments in installments. So I'll start with questions from the chat. And then if you want to speak, please feel free and raise your hand. I'll call you up to ask your questions. Let me see questions we have. Why don't you teach Python statistics and cloud platform? Christian, I think you joined in a bit late. I mentioned that in the data engineering program. All right. I mentioned that in the data engineering program, you'd learn Python, you'd learn SQL, you'd learn Microsoft Azure, you'd learn GCP, Google Cloud Platform. You'd learn how to automate those pipelines, connecting data from different sources into those cloud infrastructure using Spark and Airflow. And I talked about that. All right. So you get the recording. And for the lady who mentioned earlier, can you participate in 2 classes even if you pay for one? No, you can't, Cindy. For you to participate in 2 different programs, you have to make payment for the 2 different programs. Okay. Practically, it's not realistic, or it's not practical rather, to join 2 programs at the same time because all the programs are intensive. You don't want to be running helter-skelter. You have presentations in one program. You have presentations for the other program. And at the end of the day, your focus is divided and you really can't get immense value. So join one of the programs, complete that one before you move into another program. Okay? That's what I advise you to do. Can I make payments on the 12th of November? You can make payments on the 12th, Josephine. The only caveat to that is if you have, like I shared earlier with you, I'm not sure the program you want to join, Josephine, but you go to the full stack data science. You still have 20 seats left available for full stack data science. All right. So as people register, the number of discounted seats will drop. And once it gets to 0, so if by the 12th of November, Josephine, no slots available, the discount goes, the fees would go back to $750. All right. So the discount for the first 20 is a first come, first serve basis. Financial analytics is 9. Cybersecurity, the other time was 18. So 2 people have registered for cybersecurity already. Okay. So let me take more questions. The discount should be across board. We can't give everybody discounts, Dami. So the discount is for the first 20 people to register because it's an early bird discount for the program that would commence on the 7th of December. You're having issues with your bank. All right. So Josephine, what you can do is send an email to finance@10analytics.io. I just typed that in the chat. Finance@10analytics.io. Just send an email and they'll arrange something for you. Okay. Let me see. Will I have full access? Absolutely. Ade Dumola is asking, will I have full access to the cybersecurity program if I pay in installments? The installments is just to make it easy for you to join so that you don't make a full payment one time. So once you make the first payment in installment, that gets you into the class. Immediately you are onboarded into the LMS. You start watching your videos, you start practicing, you join your live classes, and so on and so forth. The next month comes, you pay the second installment. The third month comes, you pay the third installment. So the installment gives you full access, your interview prep, everything, your CV review sessions, LinkedIn optimization, and so on. Does your plan include preparing one for the certification exams? Chinwe is asking a very good question. So Chinwe, we don't prepare you for exams. We prepare you for the job. That's the focus for us. And that's because they decide to do different types of exam, the certified ethical hacker examination, the CISM examination, and so on and so forth. All right. So the exams people take is totally different depending on the career path you want to focus on. Now, what we always advise people to do is focus on competence. First of all, competence over credentials. I was sharing this with a couple of people today. Credentials. Always focus on competence before you talk about or think about certifications. Most people focus on the other way around. They get all the certifications in the world, they write all the exams, but they don't know how to do the job. Okay. So competence includes your skills and your experience. Okay. You're going to build skills in class. You're going to work on projects and case studies as part of your experience. So that's what you should focus on. This is what gets you the job and helps you keep the job. A certificate would not do any of that for you. All right. So let me see. Somebody iPhone is saying, I really want to secure my slots, but I'm expecting money on the 15th. I really, really want to enroll because two of my nephews who register for your program this year have both secured tech jobs. Wow, that's absolutely amazing. With the experience they got with your training, that's absolutely fantastic. I would like to know your name, iPhone. Okay. iPhone's two nephews joined one of our programs and they were able to secure jobs. How long is the access? Brilliant, Captain. The access is lifetime. So once you join our LMS, you have lifetime access to all the materials. Okay. What we are even doing, because we launched the LMS this year, 2024. So we are bringing in back all the participants that have taken our programs in 2023, 2022. We are onboarding them in batches into the LMS. So once you join, you have lifetime access. You can get a job and always come back here to watch your videos, and you have lifetime access to the materials. Linda is saying, please answer my question. What's your question, Linda? I'm sure I missed it. Let me see. Okay. I am interested in data analytics. I want to find out if a diploma in data analytics or after the DA, how do I get masters? I'm not sure I understand your question, but if your question, Linda, is do I need a master's to get a job? Do I need a diploma to get a job? Like I said, forget all of that. Okay. Take your mind away from that completely. And I'm telling you, based on my experience and the experience of so many other people I've mentored, I also did a master's in big data science and technology in the UK. It was a waste of money. You pay thousands of pounds for masters. At the end of the day, what you learn are theoretical. What you learn are you can't apply them in the real world to get a job. And that's the reality of things. You don't learn by working on real world projects, case study based projects that would equip you with the skills to do the job. You do a lot of research work, coursework, and all of that. So take your mind away from diploma, take your mind away from masters. If you are doing a master's already, you have to do it, okay? However, you must build your competence. And I'll show you the people I showed you earlier. Let me go back to the very beginning of my slide. And there are so many more, success stories. I'll go back to them. So Chinwe asked this question. So let's go. Let me show you a couple. Toyin was doing a master's in data analytics in the UK. She fast realized that this was not going to get her the job. Lois was doing a master's in the UK as well. She realized that was not going to get her a job, and she came to us. And so many other people. I'll see how I can share. Let me share the details with you. Okay, so many people doing their masters, but they realize that after my masters, I'm still struggling for a job. And the reason is very simple. Employers know academic masters does not prepare you for the job. Never prepares you for the job. Okay, let me share some more people with you very quickly. You have beautiful Ikmat. Ikmat joined our data analytics program as well. Ikmat was a stay-at-home mom in the UK. All right. She had given birth. She was out of work for about 2 years. She joined our data analytics program. She had a master's in the UK, but that didn't get her the job. She came to us. She works with the NHS now as a data analyst. Her job came with full visa sponsorship. You have Olua Damilare. He got a job as a sustainability data analyst in the UK. He had completed his master's as well in the UK, couldn't get a job, came for the data analytics program, and he got this job as a sustainability data analyst, and so many other professionals. Ramat was a customer service professional in the UK with British Gas. She also did her master's, completed her master's, couldn't get a job. She came to our business analysis program, got a job as a business architect with the NHS on full visa sponsorship, and so many other success stories like that. So masters is the list of your concerns. You want to do what? Build your experience build your competence by gaining experience and also learning the skills. Let me see. Nigeria are interested. Absolutely. We have Nigerians who are working from Nigeria and they're earning in pounds, they're earning in dollars. Abdul Rashid, for example, works for a company in the US. Abdul Rashid lives in Abuja and he works with Chow 420 as a data scientist after completing our data science program. Muhyiddin also worked in a company in the UK as a business development analyst, earning in pounds, spending in Naira. Muhyiddin lived in Ibadan before he got this job. He joined our data analytics program as well. So it doesn't matter where you are. You are in Nigeria, you are in the UK, you are in Canada. It's a global skill. Python in Nigeria is Python in the US. Excel in the UK is Excel in Ghana. So you have the skills to get the job, and that's the most important thing. Let me see. Will the discount still be available for those of us who want to join Adebola? If you want to join in January and you want to take advantage of the discounts, the best time to start is now, to join is now. I can tell you for free that the fees are going up in January. So if you see $600, you're not going to pay $600 in January. Okay. And that's typical for any, business. We're adding more value. We're adding, adjusting for inflation and stuff like that. So that's the best time is to take advantage of the discounts as much as you can. Can you please share the link again? My colleagues would share the link. Okay. Most UK organization software is Sage. Is anywhere related? Sage is not particular to any specific organization. Sage is an ERP, and there are so many ERPs. Sage, SAP, and so on and so forth. Okay. So your focus is not to learn an ERP, how to use an ERP. Your focus is to learn how to do the job and work with the ERP to get data and things like that. Most of the time, you're not going to be hired because you know how to use Sage. You'll be hired because you can do the work of a data scientist and you can learn how to use Sage in that organization in your role. All the people I've mentioned, I've shown you so far from getting jobs in the UK, none of them knows how to use Sage or ever got to use Sage before they got the jobs. Okay. Mistura is asking, I think data scientists include everything in data analytics with some modules, added modules. Am I right? Okay. That's a very good question, Mistura. So as a data scientist, you can apply to jobs as a data analyst. However, the Excel you learn as a data scientist is a bit different from the Excel you'd learn as a data analyst because you're not doing exactly the same type of jobs. As a data scientist, your Excel is tailored towards predictive analytics. So you are doing a lot of linear regression, exponential smoothing. You are doing a lot of forecasting using Excel compared to the data analyst who is focused a bit more on building dashboards, automating the reporting, and so on and so forth. Okay. So you would learn Excel, but in a different way as a data scientist compared to the data analyst, but you both know how to use Excel. The advantage for the data scientist is you can apply to jobs as a data analyst as well. Okay. But if you're somebody who doesn't want to learn Python, you don't want to learn how to code at this point in your career, you don't want to learn statistics, you've run away from statistics all through your high school, university, you don't want to do it now, it's perfectly fine. Ikmat, that is on my screen, did a data analytics program. She got a sponsorship. She's currently sponsored, working with the NHS. Oluwadamilare did our data analytics program. He's a sustainability data analyst as well. And one of the things we always tell you to do is use Tenalytics as your experience. And this is the reason why. I'll show you. When you use Tenalytics as your experience, what happens? You have the opportunity to use us to get a reference from us. Okay. So let's go to Oluwadamilare, for example. Oluwadamilare Eweje. Okay, so that's Damilare right there. All right. So one of the things you see with Damilare is he worked with Tenalytics before he got this job as a sustainability data analyst. All right. And you'd see Damilare, sustainability data analyst with BAM in the UK. I wrote Damilare's reference letter. And the reason why I could do this is because he has listed Tenalytics working with us as a contractor. So that's how you get a reference from us. So if you don't have experience, you've never done this before, you are wondering, what do I do with my past experience? That is where we show you how to tailor your LinkedIn, tailor your CV, and how to also use Tenalytics as your experience. So you are seen by the potential employers and the recruiters as somebody that can do the job. Okay. So if you can't show them that you can do the job, you're going to struggle to get that job. Okay. So I'm going to share my slides with everybody. You have access to all the materials. You have access to everything we've discussed today. Remember, the discount is for the first 20 people to register, and you have the unique opportunity of being a part of the first 20 people to register. Okay. We're also going to have, I know some of you might be a bit confused to say, okay, what do I do? Just like the question Ms. Tura asked, do I do data science? Do I do data analytics? I studied environmental management and so on and so forth. Both career paths are good. But if you want us to dive deeper into what should you do, once you've made payments and you are filling the registration form, one of the options you'd see is select the program you've registered for. Select, I need to speak with a professional. Okay. I'll see if I can show you how to do that very quickly. So if you go to the payments, you've made payments. In your email, you're going to get a receipt for your payments, and you'd also get a link that's going to take you to this form. So the link will take you to this form to register. Okay. So I'm just going to click on next, type of payment, initial payment. I'll click on next. I want to show you what to do. Click on yes, accept terms and conditions. Click on next. Enter my first name. Enter my surname. Enter my email. Let me enter my Gmail, Adeza Suleiman at Gmail. Okay. Select my gender, male. Click on next. Yes. And of course, you have details. You can reach out to any of my team members using these numbers, or you send us an email to enquiries@tenalytics.io. Click on next. When did you make payment? I made payment today. Upload a screenshot of your payment. So let me just upload any file for the purpose of this illustration. Okay. So I'll select a file in my downloads. Let me select this file. So you upload your receipts. Once you've made payment, upload your proof of payment. That's what you need to upload right here. Mode of payment, I'll select I paid on the website. Click on next. Name on the account, because some people, the spouse would pay for the for them, or their brothers would pay for them. So enter the account, the name on the account that you use to make payments. So I'll enter my name because my name is on the account. Click on next. Which program are you registering for? So Mistura, this is what you need to do. And for everybody else who is not very sure, oh, should I do data engineering or business analysis? We'll have a one-on-one session from now till the end of the month before the program starts. If you want us to engage with you in that one-on-one session, secure your discount when filling this form. Come here, and if you know the program you want to register for, data engineering, click on it. If you're not sure, you want to have a one-on-one with myself, the co-founder, and other experts, you select, I need to speak with a professional. Once you select, I need to speak with a professional, we're going to organize a one-on-one session for you. Okay? So you select, I need to speak with a professional, click on next, fill all the other details. When do you want to start? You can either start on the 7th of December, 4th of January, 2025, or 8th of February, 2025. So your discount carries you this far. So you secure your slots today, you have discounts into the future, all right? So that you don't miss out on the fees for 2024. So let's assume I want to start in January. I select January. Fill all the forms, fill the details, country of residence, Canada, WhatsApp phone number, enter that right here. Once you are done, submit, and we will organize a session for you to help you understand the program for you to select. Okay? So we're going to have those sessions, one-on-one sessions from now to the end of the month. So take advantage of that. Let me see. More questions. How many hours of studies required weekly to level up and be ready? Brilliant, brilliant question. Your live classes, 3 hours on Saturday. Practical classes, case studies, 3 hours every Saturday. Now you are expected on Sunday to do another 2 hours of learning on your own. The beauty is you can spread it across the week. So you watch some videos on Sundays, you watch on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at your own convenience. Okay? But the advice I always love to give is don't close everything after your classes on Saturdays or during the weekend. So if you close your laptop on Saturday after class and abandon it and only open it again on Saturday, when you open it that next Saturday, it would appear as if you are learning that thing from scratch again. So you want to revise, you want to practice, which is logical. All right. I always recommend 30 minutes per day. You don't need to go overboard. 30 minutes per day. Make sure you revise, practice what you've done. And that's why we also implement something we call 90 days challenge. And I'll show you a profile of somebody who utilizes the 90 days challenge. So your program is going to be for 3 months. You want to ensure that every single day you are posting something about what you have done, new things you've learned, what you are working on. So this is Ene Ojaide. Ene is in our data science program. And if you look at Ene's profile, Ene got an opportunity. A recruiter reached out to Ene based on the posts that she makes. So these are part of the things we'll teach you how to do on LinkedIn. So you see Ene making posts about the things she's built. She's also in the UK. Ene is also doing a master's as well, but she's building skills that she's not learning in a master's program. So this particular project on computer vision, let me scroll down, this one, where, like I mentioned, you're going to build a program that can detect and recognize objects. So Ene built this for a smart parking system. So when you park, you have a camera that can detect your number plate, okay, and know how long you've stayed in that particular location and all of that. This is what you'd learn in your computer vision program as a data scientist, all right? You'd see another one. This is a pose detection program where your laptop can detect your pose. So you can see Ene in the background. She's moving around and you can see that the program she's built can detect her pose, her eyes, her nose, her mouth, and her pose. Essentially, you'd build this using OpenCV in Python, and these are part of the things you do. And you always make this post on LinkedIn, and that's where you get access to opportunities outside the applications you make. Okay, very important. So, Peter, doing this is part of the things that you have to do something new every day. Okay, so 30 minutes every day we recommend. Take out time, open your laptop, revise what you've done in class, work on assignments, work on projects. You're always going to have assignments, definitely. Let me see. Do you still then pay if you want to start in January and you take advantage of the discounts? Absolutely. So you get to make your first payments this month. Okay, take advantage of the discount, and then you let us know that, okay, I want to start in January. I'm not starting now. So while filling the form, we are going to see that you're starting in January and not in December. Okay, so you feel that while filling the form. I showed you the drop down earlier. All right, so I think we're going to call it a day at this point. And somebody mentioned that, okay, Bumi is saying, I have submitted the form before your explanation, but did not pick the option of speak to a professional. I would like to speak to a professional. That's not a problem, Bumi. Okay, so you can always, Bumi, I'm going to make a note of your name, Bumi Oluwalasinu. So Bumi, when you made payments, you would receive an email. The email has our email for the finance team, finance@tenalytics.io. If you have any questions regarding payments or I've made payments, I want to do this, send an email there, okay? Or better still, send an email to enquiries@tenalytics.io, and somebody would respond to you, would organize that for you. It's not a problem at all, okay? For someone who is not very good, you don't have to be very good, Abby. Okay, and like I said, you don't need it's a heavily skill-based area, so you don't need a prerequisites to get in. All you need is what? You know how to open the computer, you know how to browse the computer, you know how to use a computer. You don't have to be very good. All right, and every other thing you get to learn while in class. Okay, I'm going to take a pause here. I think we spend enough time. And again, one more time, if you've gotten value for your time with me today, again, type in a yes into the chat before we wrap up our session today. I've had an amazing time. All the questions, absolutely phenomenal. And I want to see everybody join the program. All right. So take advantage of the discount. I would love to work with all of you, getting your journey started within the tech ecosystem. So thank you very much, guys. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday and enjoy the rest of the weekend. Until I see you some other time, have an amazing time and cheers, everyone.